excuse me, sir, but you wouldn't happen to have the time, would you?
No, I do not have the time.
Oh, well, that's too bad. But do you know where I could acquire a nice drink for the night?
No, I do not know of any bars around here.
A lot of good this gentleman is. You don't know any bars nearby?
No, I've already told you, and I'll tell you again. I have no idea where any friggin' bars are.
You got the time, you got no near bars.
Screw this! Ah! It's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review yet again. This time I'm reviewing Vampyr, or Vampyr. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to say this. This game was made by Focus Entertainment, and they're best known for making games that are not quite this good, so I'm kind of surprised to say. Now, does this game suck, or does it not suck? That's going to be up to you, the people, whenever you decide to play it, but hands down, I'll have to say, with my experience with it so far, playing through a lot of it, I'd have to say it's actually a pretty decent game. Don't go into it thinking it's going to be like another sort of Blood Omen or Vampire the Masquerade, because it's not like that. This game has a lot of dialogue to it. I mean, a lot. I mean, a lot of the main aspects of this game, other than the fighting and the exploration, does require you as your main character to go around and actually talk with people and learn a lot of stuff about them in order to increase their blood value. It's really kind of odd. Now, you play as a Dr. Jonathan Reed, who wakes up in a big pile of dead bodies after, he's been killed. He doesn't know what's happened to him at first until he crawls out of the pit of dead bodies and then goes and attacks a loved one, a family member, and kills her. And then people start trying to hunt him down. Now, this does take place a long time ago in London. It's also during the middle of the Spanish flu. So you have all these people that are dying from the flu, all these people that are found dead in the streets with all their blood drained. So it's your job as this doctor, who specializes in blood, I might add, to go around, find out the mystery of what's killing all these people, find out the mystery of what happened to you, find the main vampire, and kill him. Now, as you go through this game, the controls aren't really that difficult, but you will notice certain aspects with it, which at first will kind of seem a little clunky until you get used to it. The L2 button, the trigger button, will actually, the L2 and the R2 button are your vampire skills. As you go through, you get a couple vampire skills. They're not really special. You get like one where you can like make a mist, one where you can scratch them with your claws. You do get an ability to teleport jump. So if you see something, you'll turn into mist and you'll like fly up there. You do stuff like that, but you don't really get like a massive list of different vampire moves. You get the ability to bite and stuff like that. You can apply your weapons that you have, that you found, through your offhand and your main hand with the plus pad. I think it's like up and down what allows you to use like an item, like a health item that you get or you create, and it's the right and left pad that allows you to switch between your main weapon and your off weapon. And they consist of different stuff you'll find throughout the game, including like clubs. You can upgrade your weapons. You can get like two-handed sickles. You can get handguns. But I have found, at least for me, it seems to work better just to like kind of like do I think a circle dodge to get up to the enemies that are attacking you, and just like beat the crap out of them with your club to stun them. Then take your stake and stab them real hard to stun them, which will bring up a little icon showing that you can then bite them to get some of their blood, which takes most of their life and also gives you some life back. Now, I have noticed with this game though, the fighting mechanics in it are kind of odd based on these enemies. I mean, right at the very beginning of the game, literally, you're not really doing much wrong, and people are automatically coming up to you and automatically going, "Vampire, let's stop him!"
You're a vampire.
No, sir. What would possibly make you think that I am a vampire?
Well, the cape? The medallion?
I just like to dress nice. Is that a crime?
No, but you are out here at 2 a.m.
Maybe that's just a nice hobby. I like to walk the streets at night to London at 2 in the morning. Is that against the law? And besides, if I were a vampire, I would sparkle!
Only the really gay vampires do. Hey!
I mean, yeah, you are kind of out in the middle of London, walking down alleyways at 2 in the morning, but just because you're doing that doesn't mean these people should have naturally assumed that you are a bloodsucker and go to kill you. The enemy variety isn't really that great, even though they are fairly well detailed, but, the mechanics of the fighting seem kind of bland. I mean, it works, it does work, and it's kind of decent, especially once you level up your character and get some new different abilities and stuff like that. It's a lot better, but it seems really like the fighting mechanic actually plays second fiddle to the other main mechanic in the game, which is the blood mechanic. Now, this has to do with all the people that you find throughout London. Now, certain people are more famous than others, and they kind of control the certain districts of London. And by talking to them, you can get them to open up to you and become friendly to you and raise their value of their blood. Now, doing that, later on, you can go back and enchant them and end up killing them and taking their blood. But you got to be careful when you do this, because you'll get a huge amount of experience points to level your character up doing it that way. But you may actually end up causing a problem in a certain district, because without that person, the quality of life in that district drops. More vampire hunters show up there. More NPCs start getting killed, and it's a lot harder. So you have to kind of juggle it. I found it's best to do it down the middle by saving most of the main people, and then if you find a drifter or a homeless person, go ahead and kill them. Now, the other main mechanic, like I said, is the enchantment mechanic, and that requires you to go up to a person, do a button press, and you can enchant them and lead them over to their doom.
You are enchanted. Now walk that way.
Yes, master.
Stop!
Yes, master.
Turn around.
Yes, master.
First of all, stop calling me master. Second of all, stop spitting.
Yes, master.
Turn to your right.
Yes, master.
Stop! Oh, wait,
Yes,
I gotta think
master.
about this a little bit better. Turn to your right, 30 degrees.
Yes, master.
That was 60 degrees. Fuck it.
And by doing that, then you can drain all their blood and get a lot more experience points. It's kind of convoluted, but it is one of the main mechanics in this game, so you will get used to doing it rather quite often. Now, the thing about this game is that anytime you find a safe house, that's where you got to go, because since you're a vampire, you can only be out at night. So as the game progresses, it doesn't have a real night or day timer. It doesn't seem like it, but it will get to a point as it progresses through that it'll be like, oh, the sun's coming out, I've got to go to bed. And you got to find a safe house, and in the safe house is where you can upgrade your weapons with materials that you've gathered throughout your adventure. You can refill your ammo stocks from a crate there. You can also custom make new blood recipes from vampires that you kill, bosses and stuff. You'll get their blood, and since you're a master of blood, the doctor, you can actually go and use it to make new recipes to make medicines that can help these people that are dying at this hospital hospital that you work for, or also make health items for yourself. And the key thing is there's a bed there. You don't sleep in a coffin, which is kind of interesting, because after all, that'd be really kind of weird, because you got to think, it's like, oh my God, you're a standard vampire. Look, he's a vampire. When you sleep in a bed, it will bring up your list of upgrades for your character. And all the enemies that you've killed and all the blood you've sucked will give you experience points that you can then go into different skill trees that you have and actually apply them to unlock new abilities, to strengthen your stamina, and to also make it where like your bite pressure is harder, just stuff like that to level up your character. Because I have learned one thing. This is a rather large game world. It's semi-open world. It's not really huge open world. It's mostly linear, but if you go into certain areas where you shouldn't be yet, you will get your ass handed to you. You got to make sure you're at the proper level to go in certain areas, or you will get your butt kicked almost instantaneously from these enemies. And speaking of enemies, it's really quite amazing how, since this is almost like a classic style vampire type game, and what I mean by that is the stuff that can kill you as a vampire. You will have people that will come up, and there'll be certain cutscenes that'll play that'll actually show some classic ways of killing vampires, including the good old cross.
You, sir, are a vampire, and I know exactly how to kill you. The power of thirst compels you. The power of thirst compels you.
Oh, I do not think this guy knows exactly how to kill a vampire.
In the end, your adventure will take a good amount of time, and it is a well-built game, though I do have to point out some major issues with this title. First of all, it does seem to suffer from severe pop-in. It's not game-breaking, but you will notice it. As you're going along, you will see in the distance the lights will just come on out of nowhere. Some of the texture detail will just kind of pop in. It's not massive geometry popping in, but it is enough, at least for me to notice, but it's not a game-breaking sort of problem. Now, the other thing is there are lots of loading screens. As you progress through certain areas and cutscenes, it will go into a loading screen. And in this day and age, I'm not really going to trash the game on its loading screens, but I do feel in this day and age, you can make a game that doesn't have to have so damn many loading screens. It has a wonderful, beautiful art style. The overall design of the world, the grittiness of it, the fog, the lighting effects, all that is phenomenal. It is very well done, and it really does take you into the moment of that time and place, playing as Dr. Jonathan Reed. And great lighting. They really nailed the aesthetic when it comes down to this game world, and it really is the main star of it. Hands down, the main character isn't really super bland, but he's not super special. I think the main thing that steals the show is the actual game world. It hands down really sells it, and in the end, it's a pretty damn good game. Now, my final thoughts on Vampyr, or Vampire, or whatever it's called, is it's a pretty damn good game. I would say pick it up. You figure it is a full price title. It is $60 for this game. And, fortunately, it's not just on one game system. So if you have an Xbox, PlayStation 4, I'm not sure if it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch, but for the most part, it's on most all the game systems. So if you want to pick it up and try it, you actually can. It's actually a pretty decent game. The only thing I'd have to say, and just pay attention, is the fighting mechanics, like I seem a little boring. They seem a little off. They're not like the main thing. The main thing with this game is lots and lots of exploration, lots of talking. I mean, lots of talking. And the crafting mechanics don't seem shoehorned in. They seem like they were put in a very well-established way and designed to where they actually fit with the game, to where it doesn't seem like an afterthought of just throwing in something to craft. So hands down, I would have to say, if you're looking for a nice, decent game, a pretty good vampire game, and you don't mind talking to a lot of people, pick up Vampyr. Vampyr, whatever it is. It's a pretty damn good game, and I think it's actually worth $60. And I would have to say, I don't even think you have to wait for a sale for it. But, you know, if this isn't your cup of tea and you're not a massive lover of Vampyr, just wait until it goes on sale and pick it up. It's definitely worth picking up then. And if you're a diehard Vampyr lover like myself, go ahead and fork down to $60 and pick it up. I think it's actually worth it. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to say thank you for everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to say thank you for everyone who watches this video. Please leave a comment and hit that like button. And don't forget, my contest is almost over for the Nintendo Labo giveaway. You still have time to go to the video, which will be one of the 4 at the end of this video. Click on it, go there, leave a comment to enter. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.
Action. You, sir, are a vampire, and I know exactly how to kill you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
I do not think this guy knows how to actually kill a vampire.